Hello, Cancer. Welcome to your tarot reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, and consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. Remember that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And look at that, a 10 of Cups. That is actually pretty magnificent, if I must say. We're going to do our Dove and Serpent spread to see how we get to this magnificence here with this 10 of Cups. And also, if there's anything you need me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know in the comments, okay? Now, we're going to finish up with our Path of the Serpent over here. This looks really nice. Mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. Let's use Rider-Waite-Smith. And we're going to select, or it may select us, one random card to be our mystery card. Frog will keep an eye on it. 2 eyes. And by the end of the reading, hopefully that card will reveal itself to us and confirm everything, give us the missing piece of the puzzle, right? Tie it all together. So what do we have here? We've got these 2 major arcana. We've got some fire, air, water, a little bit more air. We got some fire. We've got some water, the major, and some more air. So it's a pretty decent balance, although I'm not seeing the earth element. We see a little bit of earth with this devil energy, which is the Capricorn card. We see a little bit of earth energy in terms of this 4 of Wands. So it's fire, but there's a kind of a hint of earth there. So with that, I think that the goal right now is to bring all of this wonderful energy and ground it, right? Put it into a practical expression. Start using it to do work, right? To do activity on the physical plane, whatever that is, building or putting these things in place, enjoying this energy, giving it form, giving it manifestation, okay? That, I think, is the work that needs to be done, is to bring this to the physical plane, to the earth plane. Now, what are we manifesting? What are we grounding? Well, this 10 of Cups, this is all of the water energy. This is literally all and everything that you could ask for, right? This is kind of the perfect card. This might be the best reading ever, okay? Because this is really the ideal. This is the picture in your head of what true satisfaction looks like, okay? And Cancer, look, I'm a Cancer too, so I kind of know how this goes. We set up this ideal and we start to feel like it's unattainable, right? It's like we want so much of this water energy, this 10 of Cups. This is like the happiness that we never had, the happiness that we never thought we could attain. This is almost setting ourselves up for a it's too good to be true kind of situation, right? The 10 of Cups. It's a state, it's a finished product. It's a state of being. It's the state of our satisfaction, okay? And the other thing about Cancer that I want to also keep in mind, because I think it's going to be important as we go through this, is that we Cancers sometimes have a tendency to either to overdo it, right? To reach the point where, you know, we've had a little bit too much, that we're not enjoying it so much anymore. Or that we have everything we want, but we start realizing that maybe that goalpost is moving, right? Maybe when we get to this 10 of Cups, we realize that we kind of want something a little bit different, right? It's not quite as satisfying as we thought it would be. But that's okay, because you know what? That keeps us hungry. That keeps us always on the move. That keeps us eager and striving to always do better, be better, to improve, to make progress, to go forward, right? So we get to the 10 of Cups and we're almost looking for the 11th cup. Where's the 11th cup? Now, there's got to be something a little bit more than this. But this is a pretty dang good place to be. And I think that we need to allow ourselves to be happy when we attain this. okay? Or when we get as close as humanly possible to this Ten of Cups, okay? Satisfaction in every area. Now, what is it that is going on in your life that we are looking for this kind of satisfaction? Well, here's the Justice or Adjustment card. It feels to me like maybe there's some kind of like a legal battle. Maybe there's a court situation, maybe something with contracts, something with an official kind of relationship. It could be a marriage or a divorce. It could be some kind of a partnership or a business situation, something along those lines, because I feel with the Justice or Adjustment card that there's some kind of an official thing going on, right? It's almost like a legal agreement or contract. Something official, something professional, right? I think this Justice card or adjustment, as I'm going to take it to mean right now, is adjusting our expectations, right? Being realistic with ourselves, knowing that either one, we're never going to get that close to the Ten of Cups. The Ten of Cups is the ideal. It's what we're looking for. We're going to try to get as close as we can, but we need to be realistic. We need to adjust our expectations. And also, when we do attain that near perfect state, right? When we get to the Ten of Cups, in practice, in a relative sense, we need to adjust our expectations of that, and we need to be realistic about how we feel when we get to that point. Right? Because I think Cancers have a tendency to, sometimes we get everything we want, and then we still find a way to be a little sad, to get a little blue, right? So we have to be realistic. We have to keep our perspective, right? We have to balance our needs with our wants. We have to balance our expectations with our attainments, But I do think that there's something professional or official going on. So maybe it could be a work thing, could be something going on with the family, with a partnership, with a marriage or a divorce, something in a legal sense in your personal life, Or it could be a business thing. Either way, you're getting what you want here. You're getting as close to a perfect outcome as you can get on this plane. Okay? So let's be happy. Let's try to be happy about this. The Ten of Wands in your past, behind you. You've worked very hard to get here. You haven't just been waiting and sulking and kind of wallowing in the cold currents at the depths of the ocean. You've been working. You've been doing it. You've been putting forth your effort to make this happen. Okay? And I think this success is coming at the right time because you're starting to feel the fatigue of all of this activity. A lot of Cancers, I'm not saying all Cancers, but some Cancers at least, need a long period of rest and recuperation after intense activity, especially if that activity is involving something, in this sense, professional or legal, something external and kind of official, We need that period of time to come back to our home base. So when this 10 of Wands, it gets all the way out there to a 10, right? We need to start working our way back to the Ace, right? To the 1, 9, 8, 7, all the way back up. And I think that's how we then we come back to our home base. You tag home when you're a kid, you're playing tag, you get to the home base. As soon as you touch home, you're safe. So we got to go back up to the Ace, we got to tag home, and then we can come back out. We can extend ourselves again after that. So I think this success, this satisfaction, this satiety is coming at the right time. Because I think we're getting really close to being pretty much spent, And the thing with Cancer energy, it's a cardinal water sign. So with the cardinal aspect, we have this rush, this fiery kind of impulsive, it's just a bursting forth of our water energy. And we see some of that over here with some of this water energy. We have some more fire around here. So it's difficult for us to have the discipline of our emotive energy right off the bat. You know, we kind of burst forth with it, and then we try to worry about the discipline or the control later, right? But we always have that kind of initial, you know, not an outburst, you know, we're not 5 years old, but the initial rush of that emotional intensity, okay? And I think we put that into everything that we do, everything that we feel very strongly about, everything really that can lead us to a 10 of Cups, we have that fiery, impulsive water energy toward. And the 10 of Wands here is asking for a little bit of discipline and control. But we know, obviously, that, you know, the initial burst of energy is just kind of, you know, rather intense. And then we have to kind of implement a little bit of discipline as we go along. And that part of that discipline is knowing when to start dialing back so we can tag home base and then we can start again. So the 10 of Wands, I think that's a very important cycle of energy for Cancer that needs to be acknowledged, at least, so that we don't burn ourselves out, so that we're not stretched too thin and completely depleted or exhausted of our vital energy, which I think our vital energy manifests a lot of times as this water energy, as an emotional, intuitive, very sensitive kind of energy. And of course, that's what's bringing us to the 10 of Cups. So it's, you know, it's kind of a catch-22. It's useful because it's getting us here, it's getting us what we want, but we also have to be careful that we don't wear ourselves out, essentially, you know. Because whatever is going on, here's the 8 of Wands, whatever is going on, I think really did require that quick action, that initial outburst of your emotions and your activities, because the emotions, that kind of, you know, I guess kind of like an outburst, but that initial rush of emotion, of water energy, is where we're getting all of the action from, right? That's kind of the motivation for the movement and the physical activity that is getting this thing done, whatever this is. This could be a new work contract, business contract, could be something, it could be, signing on a loan for a house or a car or whatever it might be. Something rather professional and official, maybe a legal component there. But it required your swift action. It's almost that you had to really act fast so this opportunity didn't kind of pass you by, right? So too much discipline at the beginning would have equated to hesitation and a missed opportunity. So we needed that initial rush, you know. And that, I think, is kind of where you still are. You're still in this rushing forward kind of mode to get to this 10 of Cups. But I feel, anyway, that you're starting to recognize that we're getting close to the end of the gas tank here with the 10 of Wands. And we're going to need to, you know, pause for a beat, take a break, go tag home base. And, you know, I think that you're going to arrive at this 10 of Cups kind of just in the nick of time for this 10 of Wands. I think everything's going to kind of come to a conclusion, and then you're going to say, thank God, thank Goddess, thank Deity, because I'm tired, right? I'm tired. And that's, to me, that's perfect, because then you take all of that fire energy, go back to home base, which is kind of what I see here with the 4 of Wands. But first, we have to deal with some of this air energy. The first thing is the 8 of Swords down here at the bottom. This this is something that you've overcome already. This was your self-doubt. This was you, I think, really believing that you weren't going to make this happen, that for some reason it wasn't going to work. And it could be that this negative thinking, this self-doubt, this second-guessing, was threatening to really keep you locked up. You almost didn't do this. You almost didn't pursue this, right? Because of this 8 of Swords. And I think, again, this is somewhat common for Cancers to have a little bit of pessimism or a little bit of self-doubt, or just sometimes there's a lack of confidence in ourselves. Sometimes, you know, not very often. But you overcame this. And these 8 swords, you did not allow them to imprison you, right? You didn't give these negative thoughts, negative feelings, this pessimism. You didn't give any of that negative energy form. Because had you given it form, the form would have been a prison. It would have locked you up. It would have prevented you from going after this, whatever this is. Pursuing this goal, from reaching this 10 of Cups. So we overcame this, and I'm happy that we did. Because this is kind of the, I think there's a couple other negative kind of cards here, but every card has light and shadow. Okay, so when I say this is a negative card, I mean in the context of the rest of these, this was kind of the dark cloud that was threatening to rain on your parade, but you didn't let it. You didn't let it. You had enough heat and enough intensity to, I don't know, get rid of the clouds. I'm not a meteorologist. I don't know how that works. Change the air pressure, brought in some air maybe, and these clouds took off. I think that there is a person in your life, maybe an air sign, who is very, very encouraging to you, but very objective, right? Someone that wants you to succeed, is there to encourage you and motivate you and kind of gasses you up, right? But is also very objective and will tell you when you're kind of, you're headed in the wrong direction, or if you're too much in your head with the eight of Swords. Maybe this person really was like that fresh air person that you could talk to, have a dialogue with, exchange ideas. Maybe they brought in that kind of fresh air that allowed you to clear out this dark cloud. Get rid of that one. And I don't know who this person is to you. Maybe a friend, family member, could be a coworker, maybe your boss, maybe your employee, could be a lawyer or an advisor, a counselor. Somebody who is, their role in your life is mostly in that capacity of a friend or a confidant, someone that you can have an honest dialogue with. Whether they're a professional or a friend, it's someone that you can talk to and be open with. And they're not going to sugarcoat it. They'll tell you, hey, you're hanging on to this black cloud. You need to get rid of it. So that was the way, I think, that we were progressing with this. Now that brings us to the path of the serpent here with the Four of Wands. I think this is you going back and tagging home base. And this is you now, arriving at this Ten of Cups state. And I think you need to, a couple of things. First, I think you need to rein in some of your energy, some of your activities, some of this kind of almost a frantic energy, this rushed kind of energy that I felt with the Eight of Wands, this swiftness. We need to rein that in. We need to tag home base. We need to rest, recuperate, get a drink of water, or get some rest. Whatever, Cancer, whatever you do, to recharge, to get that rest, that restoration, right? But then also, while we're here at home, kind of with our feet up and a hot cup of tea, we have to consider what our next move is. And what I mean by that is the Four of Wands is fiery energy that needs to have a form, right? It's kind of the squaring of the circle. And that's the idea behind taking the fire energy, the creative energy, the vital energy, and putting it into a four, right? Giving it structure, giving it some walls, giving it a system to operate within. So I think that it is about you figuring out what you're going to do with this success, whatever this Justice or Adjustment card, whatever this Ten of Cups feeling, whatever is going on, whatever this success or attainment is. What are you doing with it? How is it an expression of your creativity? How are you going to put that to good use, right? What are you going to do with this success now? Reinvest it. You're going to enjoy it. You're going to build something. You're going to use it to improve your life, improve the lives of others, you know, of your loved ones. So this is this is about thinking the next step. You know, thinking, what are we going to do with this energy now? The Four of Wands is also a temporary resting place because it's kind of like a campfire. You're taking the fire of spirit, that divine energy and vitality, you're giving it a temporary home in the form of like a campfire. So this going home to rest and recuperate, we have to remember that we're just touching home base, and then we're going back out to play, right? It's a temporary thing. Don't stay home. You're not in for the night, right? We're just we're returning to home base for a second just to get a sandwich and some lemonade, and then we're going back. So we don't get stuck here, because if we do, I think that we have a tendency to get in our moods, right? This is kind of the black cloud again, but in a different form. It's not the black cloud of this Eight of Swords of negative thinking and self-doubt and second-guessing and kind of trying to talk ourselves out of doing this amazing thing that you're doing. This is similar, but this is an Eight of Cups. This is about feeling ourselves in just this darkness, this kind of depression, this kind of melancholy that sometimes comes over us either with the Eight of Swords or just all by itself. Sometimes these two come together, sometimes not. So this is really getting stuck in these conflicting feelings, maybe a dissatisfaction, right? And this could be related to just about anything. I'm sure each of us Cancers can think of a million reasons, you know, why we might get into a mood like this. Well, this Ten of Cups, it wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be, or I didn't really do it. You know, it's not really what I wanted, or it's not going to last, or I don't deserve it, blah, 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 blah. All of these things that we feel. And that's sometimes, like I said, that's very closely associated with the Eight of Swords, because they usually go hand in hand. But whether this brings with it this Eight of Swords black cloud or not, staying home, right, staying out of the action for too long is going to start putting you in your feelings. So this is kind of what we want to avoid. This is our environment, though. And I think that while Cancers generally, and I'm speaking for myself too, we tend to really enjoy our home. We like being home. We like everything that is related to our home. But if we spend too much time here, too much time, now we can use a lot of time at home, but too much, whatever that means for you, too much will lead to the Eight of Cups. Okay, so we need to make sure that when we notice this is happening, that we get on with things. And the next one is this Devil energy. And I think the Devil energy is really a great thing in the sense that it is fire and earth. It is another idea of kind of taking that creative spiritual fire, taking the confidence, the impulse, the striving, the bursting of that fire energy, and giving it form, grounding it, putting it to practical use, doing something physical with it. So this, you know, like I said at the very beginning, kind of relates to this Four of Wands as well. There is kind of an earthy card. It's about taking that fiery energy and putting it into something, using it for something, doing something with it. Doing something with this Ten of Cups slash Justice or Adjustment card energy, right? This combination, doing something with this combination. And this is your commitment to that. This really is, this is your endurance. This is your ability to now go back out into the neighborhood and play until, you know, the wee hours of the night. This is you really kind of enjoying this work and this process. And, you know, doing that until we get back to the the Ten of Wands, and we need to kind of return to the home base. So it is kind of this cycle, right? But what we don't want to do, again, every card has light and shadow. This card's in the position of what we don't want. We don't want the devil energy. We don't want this, the kind of, the obsession over this that is ultimately going to lead to our ruin, that's ultimately going to lead to a kind of semi-permanent Ten of Wands state. All right? We get too wrapped up in the physical labor that maybe we don't know when to quit and go back home, or we don't know when to call it a night, right? So there's some conflicting energy here, right? Because we need that fire energy, that power. But if maybe we have a tendency to get a little bit obsessive with something that we have this kind of passion, this kind of water energy and love for, and this kind of like satisfaction over, we have the tendency to get a little bit obsessive with it, I think. And that's all we want to do day and night, until we realize that we haven't slept, we haven't eaten, we haven't rested. And I think that is something to be avoided. On the other hand, we also need a little bit of that, right? We need a little bit of that hyper-focus, a little bit of that obsession. And that's the fine line that the devil energy walks. Because it can easily go to that extreme. So you're walking right on the kind of the edge of that cliff, you know. And we need to maintain balance. And I think the balance is found through returning to home base, utilizing this air energy person in your life. And the balance is represented by this Two of Swords. This is balance. This is a peacefulness. This is figuring out a system, and that calls back to the Four of Wands, figuring out how to use this situation, this energy, this feeling in a very balanced way, a way that is going to continue to create more and more abundance and success for you and not let you fall into this extreme. One or the other extreme, either staying home in this Eight of Cups or going too far, burning yourself out with activity. So we need the balance. We need to find a way to make this a very peaceful endeavor, right? Peace of mind. A balanced state of energy. Yes, it's hard work. Yes, you're going to be tired and exhausted. But you know that you can go rest and restore and recuperate and then go back out again. And it doesn't wear you down over time. Indeed, on the other hand, it builds you up. It rather strengthens you to go through this cycle. It's like being in a gym. You lift heavy weights, you get the micro tears in your muscles, right? You kind of wear yourself out, and then you rest. And that's when you really grow in strength. Your muscles repair themselves. And then you can go back out and do it again. You tear yourself down, and then you build yourself back up. And the more we do that process, the more this cycle continues, the stronger and stronger we get. So it's not just a cycle, as in it's not just a circle, it's a spiral. So it seems like we're just repeating the same pattern, but we're elevating ourselves, we're raising ourselves up at the same time. So we need this kind of balanced process, this cycle, Anyway, let's do the mystery card. Not the extended, not yet. The mystery card. I almost forgot about the mystery card, but the frog was whispering in my ear. I would like to see this to be some kind of a balanced card. We end kind of talking about this balance. I'd like to see a 6 of something. A Wheel of Fortune would be nice, but a 6 of anything, I think, would show us, the way that we can achieve this kind of balance. Well, we do have balance in the form of the Justice or Adjustment card again. So we have a repeat of this card. And I think it all comes back to this card, the balance. It all comes back to balancing our wants and needs with our attainments, balancing our expectations versus, relativity. I don't know. I was going to say relative reality. This is about finding that that equilibrium within ourselves, right? We're not burning ourselves out, but we're not staying home too long that we get this Eight of Cups, the Eight of Swords. We don't want these eights. They're not. We have an Eight of Wands, which the Eight of Wands is a different type of energy, if you've noticed. It's like, and it's kind of here we're seeing the balance on the path of the dove, if you want to look at this. We have an Eight of Wands that's kind of, the exact opposite of the Eight of Swords. They're both active cards. This is air, this is fire. This is giving form to the fire, this is giving form to the air. Now, giving form to the air, we are kind of actively sabotaging ourselves, restricting ourselves, holding ourselves back, restraining our energy in all of this air and all of these swords. And this one, we're giving form to the fire. So this is really the same kind of idea as the Four of Wands, the same kind of idea as this devil energy, giving form, giving expression to this fiery energy. Now with this one, it is a impulsive, fiery, quick to begin kind of energy. This one is a little bit more balanced, a little bit more relaxed. This is a little bit more, I'm going to build a campfire for the night. This is more of almost a planning, almost a reflecting kind of period. And then of course we have the devil energy, which is kind of an extreme of both of these, because that devil energy is hyper-focused, almost obsessive, isn't just a quick, sudden energy, isn't a more reflective energy. It's an energy that just keeps going and going and going and going until it literally can't move another muscle. It totally overextends itself even beyond the Ten of Wands there. So we need a balance in that. We need the equilibrium. We need these cycles to restore ourselves and to continue to enjoy this Ten of Cups. Because if you're not having a good time, what's the point, right? If you're not enjoying this Ten of Cups, then why are you after it? What are you doing? Working so hard to get that. So we really have to use the Justice or Adjustment card as a reminder that, look, we need to work hard, but we need to play hard. We need to enjoy ourselves, as much as we need to, delay gratification. Well, we also can allow ourselves to feel some gratification now and then. We just have to keep things in perspective, and that's what these cards are about. So now we're going to do the extended. And if you would like to stick around for that, just click on the link that's right there. That'll give you access to all of the extended readings, not just for Cancer, but for all of the zodiac signs. I want to thank you so much for letting me read for you. Please hit the like button, leave me a comment, subscribe if you haven't yet, share the video with your friends on your social media. Thank you so much for letting me read for you.